Greetings and welcome to the Bayou, a twisted hellscape 1896 version of Louisiana where monstrosities roam free and teeth-clenching combat takes place over bounty-seeking hunters and hunted alike. Developed by Crytek, Hunt Showdown is just rolling into its 6th anniversary, and I felt with my extensive time with the game, rather than another kills montage, I'd offer up some of my thoughts and feelings on the game and whether or not, in its current state, it's worth the time of a new player. I'm going to lay out my short answer right now and say yes, it's absolutely worth it to play Hunt in 2024. But let's get into the details as to why. Let's start with the pros. Hunt offers unique gameplay that is unquestionable. There is no other game like Hunt on the market right now. It's been a niche game for its life cycle, and as much as I'd love a clone, there's something very special about this game. So what makes Hunt unique? It falls somewhere in the category of an extraction shooter and battle royale. Unlike other battle royales, you aren't fighting to be the last team standing, but rather to get out with a bounty. Bounties are boss monsters that players are sent into the swamps to find clues as to their whereabouts. They must then kill, banish, and extract with the bounty tokens while fending for their lives against other players in Western-style shootouts. However, you're not forced in any way to play this objective. You're free to simply and patiently hunt other players or engage in whatever way you choose. And equally, you are free to leave the match whenever you see fit. Each match in Bounty Hunt has a makeup of up to 12 players, including duos, solos, or trios. There's an alternative mode called Sole Survivor, which is more a like version of Battle Royale. Every encounter and fight with other players in Hunt is tense, adrenaline-fueled, and can easily turn around quickly, depending on a wide number of circumstances. Sound design in Hunt is also very unique, accurate, and detailed. The CryEngine makes great use of binaural sound design, and every little noise can give players the information they need to properly assess player positioning, danger, and give advantages they might not otherwise have. You are constantly navigating sound traps like dogs, chicken coops, and crows, while listening for cues such as a distant rifle shot from 1 kilometer away. Though the PvE aspect of Hunt does not take long to master, it can definitely make your life difficult if you aren't prepared to deal with a pack of grunts or a rushing fiery immolator that explodes from gunshots or piercing damage. There is also incredible detail in the maps, layout, and lines of sight in the game to drive players to learn all the small subtleties of each compound. Each game, I still to this day, after 3,500 hours, am finding small vantage points and crack peaks I've never seen before. You can spend 1,000 hours learning all there is to know about the 3 maps in rotation. Hunt is fairly easy to learn, but difficult to master. Every weapon has reload timing, lead for the velocity of shots, and a weightiness to it. Some guns are spammy, while other rifles might be better for a sharpshooter style of play. You have dual wielding, shotguns, and crossbows that propel explosives, as well as a wealth of melee weapons at your disposal. Learning every weapon in Hunt will ensure a competitive advantage. For example, knowing how long it takes to reload a Sparks long-range rifle will give you the window you need to push and down a hunter. This depth of knowledge alone makes it exciting to try the spectrum of ever-expanding arsenal within the game. There's a multitude of advanced tactics in the game. You can place death traps that will 90% of the time immediately kill even a full health hunter. Hunters can reach a permadeath state by being burned to a crisp by a source of fire in the game. Banishing a boss will return your team's health to full again if you've lost health bars from previous engagements or mishaps. Other important tactics include using deceptive tools like blank fire decoys or chaos bombs that simulate gunfire. There really is a lot of creativity at your disposal in the game, and you should always try to outsmart other teams with anything you can use, including stealth. In a simpler sense, Hunt is very straightforward in its basic presentation. You spawn into a match, find clues, locate the boss, and then kill it. Rinse and repeat. Generally speaking, you are either attacking or sieging a compound, or defending and holding the bounty token until it's safe or advantageous to make your way to extract. This sort of push and pull gameplay separates it from other games in this genre, such as Call of Duty Warzone or Escape from Tarkov. The matched format makes casual gameplay a bit more enticing than the grindiness and RPG aspects of EFT. Freedom of choice within a match makes it less like a battle royale, in my opinion. And in standard bounty hunt mode, you decide what loadout you enter the match with, rather than picking up RNG-based loot within. If you're somebody who likes cosmetics and skins, Hunt has no shortage of that. There are over 50 different unique legendary hunters and well over 100 plus weapon skins to collect or purchase. The game utilizes an in-game currency called Blood Bonds, which you can slowly earn or buy to get some of these unique skins. There's no direct pay-to-win module, but arguably some of the hunter's visibility plays an impact when it comes to advantage. Crytek has announced a major engine upgrade this year, as well as a new map on the horizon and a new boss, I believe, in 2024. Players hope these changes to the engine will improve some of the outstanding issues that the CryEngine present, which we will talk more about in just a moment. I couldn't quite determine whether this is a pro or a con when Hunt has events that serve as a Battle Pass feature. This past while, the events have been very similar. They're a little on the grindy side and tend to recycle a bit of the same and similar mechanics with each iteration. The events tend to be about 2 months long and have players collecting in-game points to complete tiers of a Battle Pass, offering new weapons, skins, and legendary hunters. They also bring new traits to equip to your hunter to freshen up gameplay and sway the meta during the time of the event. One of the major problems with Hunt Showdown is the server performance. As I understand, CryEngine was never built with netcode in mind. The servers are 30 Hz tick rate as far as I've heard. There is lack of a proper ping lock system, so oftentimes you'll be facing players from the other side of the planet, and gameplay is 100% affected by the latency involved. Whether Hunt needs a server upgrade or the new engine will fix the existing issues is uncertain. You will oftentimes find yourself dying around corners, finding your body is not where the client side showed you when you died, or hit markers will be very laggy. Hunt has a trade window of up to 800 milliseconds, meaning that when you kill a hunter, they have on their client side up to 800 milliseconds to respond before the hits register. This can be very frustrating and oftentimes results in a trade kill. This is further exasperated when fighting against high ping players or having high ping yourself. Hunt uses an MMR system with 6 tiers to try and match you to players within your skill level. I'm not 100% sure how they factor everything in these days, as sometimes I'll be against a full team of 6-star players, and other times a lobby of 3 and 4 stars. Due to population restraints, I think the servers pull in teams as best as they can with a priority of filling lobbies, rather than having an advanced algorithm to match you up against equally skilled opponents. I rarely feel it fair for a 3-star player with less than 100 hours to be in my lobby. But also, if you want to be a 6-star, you can simply play passively and snipe your way to top rank, meaning there's no real skill-determined value in how this system decides who plays against who. As before, I mentioned the amount of skins in the game, but oftentimes, as players, we feel they overlook core issues in exchange to pump out aesthetic content that does not have any bearing on the health of the game. This is often seen as a crux in the decision-making of the development team, or perhaps their lack of awareness of players within their community's true feelings. Another feature Hunt is lacking in is having a kill cam. You can see post-death stats such as damage taken, damage dealt, distance from target, and after your team is dead, you can see exactly where you were shot from. But this lack of a kill cam makes it difficult to tell if a player that killed you was legit and not cheating. And like most online shooters, there are hackers within the game. Though it seems rare, it's sometimes very tricky to call whether or not somebody was using a third-party advantage. There's an in-game report feature that has a detail box, and I try to report anything that seems excessively suspicious. Hunt's gameplay can also be rock, paper, scissors, and this can be a bit frustrating because it feels like you're in the wrong position at the wrong time, or have the wrong loadout to face your opponent. If you bring a shotgun, you might be faced with scoped rifle players, making for a standoff that goes on far too long. If you bring rifles, you might get rushed by a team of spammy loadouts that rely on RNG instead of accuracy. Camping is, and has always been, a pain point in the game, and sometimes it can lead to an exhausting match where no one is willing to make any moves, and the team that does decide to do something gets punished. Sometimes it's better to just strategically leave the match and move on to the next game. Feels like a checkmate in certain situations. In closing, Hunt is still one of the only FPS and multiplayer games, for that matter, that keeps me coming back. There's no other PvP game that can compare to Hunt's visceral and deliberate game design. Without any similar alternative game, I think I will continue to play Hunt and enjoy it for what it is. I would absolutely recommend grabbing this game on Steam. Hold out for a sale, as they happen frequently, and maybe we'll see you in the bayou.
Good game there, feller.